Chapter 3825. How to Buy Time. The world's origin core gradually quieted, the struggle coming to an end. The aura belonging to Xiao Zhantian grew ever stronger, and Lin Moyu was completely at ease, the former war god of the great world. The human sovereign who protected humanity for countless years was about to claim victory. In Lin Moyu's eyes, this was what he deserved, the reward he was owed after so many years. From now on, he could lay down the burdens of being human sovereign and return to being Xiao Zhantian, that proud, peerless hero who had led humanity through fire and water. After becoming the master of this world, he could develop it well and perhaps even reach eternity in the future. When the world finally fell silent, Xiao Zhantian's voice slowly rang out.
I've won!
At this moment, the passage created by Discernment Beast's secret technique had not yet disappeared. Discernment Beast said,
Put the Great Tao Beast essence in.
Lin Moyu nodded, waving his hand to send 10 orbs of Great Tao Beast essence into the radiant passage. He also transmitted a message.
Senior, please absorb and refine the essence as soon as possible, and strive to take form quickly.
Discernment Beast let out a low growl and sent a message of its own. Lin Moyu couldn't help but ask,
What did you send?
Discernment Beast chuckled.
I taught him some methods to help him take form sooner.
Soon, Xiao Zhantian's voice came.
Thank you for your great kindness, Senior.
Discernment Beast replied,
No need for such courtesy. I'm only doing this for Lin's sake. Now focus on refining and don't talk.
The radiance faded, and the world's origin core released mist, slowly shrouding everything. Xiao Zhantian had begun absorbing and refining the Great Tao Beast essence, starting his transformation. But Lin Moyu didn't leave immediately. He wanted to watch until Xiao Zhantian's condition was completely stable. Discernment Beast licked its lips and sighed.
So much Great Tao Beast essence, how wonderful.
Lin Moyu laughed.
With your ability, Senior, if you wanted it, Great Tao Beast essence would be easy to get.
Discernment Beast snorted.
You think too much. Beings like us can't attack Great Tao Beasts, or there will be trouble later.
It added,
Not just us, even eternal beings can't do it.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
Because of the Great Tao Beast Emperor?
Discernment Beast smiled.
Exactly. Some eternal beings in both the real and virtual worlds have a contract with the Great Tao Beast Emperor. We're not allowed to attack Great Tao Beasts ourselves.
Lin Moyu asked,
Why do that? With the strength of Great Tao Lords and Emperors, can't you defeat the Great Tao Beast Emperor?
Discernment Beast replied,
You don't understand. You don't know the role and meaning of the Great Tao Beasts. You'll understand when you reach eternity. For now, just know there's a restriction. It's very hard for us to get Great Tao Beast essence, though fortunately, we don't need much only for special reasons.
Lin Moyu asked,
Do you have enough? Should I get more for you?
Discernment Beast said,
Of course it's not enough, but compared to Great Tao Beast essence, I prefer treasure materials. Here's the deal. If you can get 10 orbs of Great Tao Beast essence, you can trade them for 1 treasure material and 1 favor from me.
Lin Moyu's eyes lit up. For him, getting Great Tao Beast essence was much easier than treasure materials.
Deal.
Not giving Discernment Beast a chance to back out, Lin Moyu agreed immediately. Discernment Beast didn't mind, clearly knowing how hard it was to get innate origin treasure. After 2 days, the chaotic mist grew thicker, but Xiao Zhantian was now stable. He had completely become world master and entered the spirit birth stage. All Tao lords in this world were dead, no one could threaten him. With Great Tao Beast essence and Discernment Beast's methods, he would take form in just a few years, with almost no risk. Lin Moyu felt as if he had completed a mission and let out a long sigh of relief. Discernment Beast said,
All right, I'll take my leave. You still have 2 more chances to call on me. Wait.
Lin Moyu stopped Discernment Beast.
I have 1 more thing.
Discernment Beast turned back.
Speak.
Lin Moyu said,
In a few hundred years, the will of my world will fully awaken and may attempt to achieve eternity, sacrificing all living beings. I'm short on time, so I'd like your help to slow its progress toward eternity.
Discernment Beast's eyes narrowed, and after a moment it said,
Let's go take a look first.
Two beams of light shot from its eyes, tearing open the void and creating a spatial passage. Discernment Beast didn't use any space Great Tao, just casually tore open the soul void space. Truly extraordinary.
Let's go!
A force wrapped around Lin Moyu and Little Python, pulling them into the passage. In an instant, the world shifted. Lin Moyu found himself outside the origin continent, only 10 million kilometers away, able to see the entire world clearly. Discernment Beast observed the origin continent closely, its eyes shining with a supernatural light, seeing much more clearly than Lin Moyu. After a long while, it finally spoke.
This guy has reached the peak of the formative stage. Although he was injured before, he's fully recovered. He's reviving, and in less than 500 years, he'll be fully awake and ready to attempt eternity. I can sense he's anxious. Last time, he waited too long. He should have achieved eternity long ago. And he's afraid someone will cause trouble during this process, so he's hidden himself. Unless something earth-shattering happens, he won't show himself. It's very hard to force him out unless an external force destroys the world. In other words, he's using all the world's living beings as meat shields, and has wrapped the world in the cause and effect Great Tao. If someone really tried to do that, they'd be entangled in great karmic consequences. The cause and effect Great Tao covers the whole world. If you get too involved, you'll bring a lot of unnecessary trouble.
Lin Moyu frowned.
So what should I do?
Discernment Beast thought for a moment.
There are only two ways. One is to attack the world directly, endure the backlash of fate, and force him out, but at least half the world's living beings would die. The second way is to act at the moment he fully awakens. When he's fully reviving, he must take form, and at that moment, with the Golden Furnace Emperor's treasure, you can prevent him from retreating and injure him again to buy more time.
Lin Moyu's eyes lit up.
Let's use the second method.
Discernment Beast said.
The second way has a problem. Eternal beings from the soul void, including emperors, can't harm the world will. At most, they can delay him, or they'll be severely punished. That's the rule. No emperor dares break it. So you'll need to find someone else to help. But even if you find a Great Tao Lord, they won't help you kill a world will about to reach eternity. At most, they'll wound him. Great Tao Lords care a lot about karma, and don't want to bear too much of it.
Lin Moyu clenched his fist.
If we can just delay and wound him, that's enough.
What he needed most now was time. He had to find a way to buy more time. Chapter 38:26. Master, can you not die? After Discernment Beast left, Lin Moyu lingered a while longer before turning to leave as well. He knew that in the time ahead, he would be very busy. Inviting Discernment Beast to act came at a price, and a steep one at that. He had agreed with Discernment Beast that at the moment the origin continents will revived, Discernment Beast would bring Golden Furnace Emperor and use the Emperor's innate origin virtual treasure to restrain the origin continent's world will, forcing it to solidify and preventing it from dispersing. At the same time, Lin Moyu would also need to find a Great Tao Lord to strike and injure the world will, slowing its advance toward eternity. However, this would bring karmic consequences upon the Great Tao Lord, so Lin Moyu would have to pay an even more astonishing price to persuade one to bear this karma. From Discernment Beast, Lin Moyu learned what Great Tao Lords wanted. For example, Great Tao Beast Essence and Innate Origin Treasure materials. In the Soul Void, these two items were the most valuable hard currency. Aside from these, Lin Moyu had nothing of greater value to offer. But the problem was how to find a Great Tao Lord. The most obvious Great Tao Lord was Human Sovereign in the World Tree Great Spirit domain. But thinking of what Human Sovereign was currently doing, Lin Moyu immediately ruled him out. He knew that the virtual soul pills he refined would create a degree of karmic entanglement with Human Sovereign. So it was best not to cross paths with Human Sovereign right now. His target, then, was the remaining Great Tao Lords, 12 in total, 11 if Human Sovereign was excluded. Currently, he couldn't leave the origin continent, so he couldn't search in the real world and could only look in the soul void. From Discernment Beast, He learned that of the 11, only 2 or 3 were active in the soul void. Moreover, these great Tao lords had very different personalities. Discernment Beast recommended seeking out the Lord of Time. According to Discernment Beast, the Lord of Time was relatively easier to talk to. Discernment Beast also told Lin Moyu that the Lord of Time was currently in the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain, one of the 9 Great Spirit Domains, and also the most dangerous. As for what the Lord of Time was doing there, Discernment Beast didn't know. He wasn't omniscient. Discernment Beast warned that the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain was extremely dangerous, and if Lin Moyu wanted to go, he should be mentally prepared. For 100 years isn't a long time, so Lin Moyu didn't hesitate. He quickly set off for the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain. Discernment Beast had given him a rough location. The positions of the Great Spirit Domains weren't fixed, they were always shifting, though not quickly. At least for the next few centuries, the change wouldn't be drastic. Little Python asked nervously,
Master, according to Senior Discernment, Human Sovereign once entered Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain and nearly died. If we go, can we come back alive?
Lin Moyu laughed.
That depends on luck. If we can't find anyone, we'll die sooner or later anyway. Better to die early than late. There's an old saying among humans, die early, reincarnate early.
Little Python immediately wailed.
Master, can't you think of a way to stay alive?
It knew very well that if Lin Moyu died, it wouldn't survive either. Lin Moyu teased.
What's there to worry about? As long as the true spirit survives, we'll reincarnate eventually.
Little Python shook its big head vigorously.
No, even if I reincarnate, I won't be me anymore. Stop shaking your head.
Lin Moyu, sitting on Little Python's head, nearly lost his balance from the shaking. Little Python immediately settled down.
Master, please try to find a way to stay alive.
Lin Moyu said.
That's not your concern. Just fly and make good time.
Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain was at the edge of the Soul Void, almost opposite from Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain, requiring them to cross nearly the entire Soul Void, a long journey. Along the way, Lin Moyu was also searching for virtual real spirit realms and great Tao beasts. Time was truly tight. Little Python dared not say more and flew with all its might. After more than 10 days, Little Python left Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain and entered a vacuum zone. At this point, Lin Moyu took out half a piece of crimson redstone, and the immortal fire blazed as he began to summon an elemental lich. Crimson redstone was Redstone Emperor's companion stone, meaning it was deeply connected to Redstone Emperor. Who knew what kind of elemental lich would be summoned with crimson redstone, or which great Tao it would replicate? Elemental liches at the great Tao level were very powerful, but unfortunately restricted by the world and couldn't be used recklessly. Otherwise, Lin Moyu's combat strength could rise several more levels. The crimson redstone rolled in the immortal fire, melting very slowly even after a whole day. There was little change. Lin Moyu knew he couldn't rush it, so he kept burning it, while sending out large numbers of skeleton generals in all directions to search for great Tao beasts. Little Python's eyes acted like radar, constantly scanning for virtual real spirit realms. Time and treasures, these were Lin Moyu's bargaining chips, and he needed them. Lin Moyu transformed into light, flying alone through the dazzling vacuum zone of the great Tao. The boundless void, with its desolation, brought a sense of loneliness that even the brilliance of the great Tao couldn't fill. For others, prolonged solitude might drive them mad, but for Lin Moyu, loneliness was the best whetstone for tempering his Tao heart. Previously, he had used solitude in the void to hone his Tao heart, making it ever stronger. Now was no different. He continued to temper his Tao heart while multitasking, feeling the splendor of the great Tao's impact. Amid the chaotic brilliance, Lin Moyu sensed that the most fundamental truths of the great Tao were hidden within. If someone could unravel the great Tao, they could theoretically comprehend the Tao in the vacuum zone, though few could actually do it. After flying in the vacuum for over a month, the crimson redstone finally melted completely in the immortal fire, and a small red figure began to take shape. Lin Moyu let go, and he and Little Python quickly retreated. Once the elemental lich took shape, it would inevitably attract a great Tao tribulation. They didn't want to get caught up in it. Little Python, ever fearful for its life, withdrew tens of millions of miles away to watch from a distance. The scope of a great Tao tribulation was vast. This was why Lin Moyu never summoned elemental liches inside a small spirit domain. Who knew if there might be a small world nearby that would be devastated by the tribulation, and then all the karmic consequences would fall on him. Karma is best avoided if possible. Too much is truly troublesome. Even eternal beings avoid karma when they can. While they won't die, they may fall dormant, sleeping for countless years. If you must bear karma, it should be for a worthy gain. Needless karma is the worst. As the elemental lich formed, tribulation clouds rapidly appeared, occupying a vast area of the void. Lin Moyu watched from afar.
This time the tribulation clouds seem even stronger.
Little Python shivered.
Yeah, it's terrifying, scarier than last time.
Lin Moyu sipped his tea and muttered.
Worthy of being an emperor's companion treasure.
With experience, Lin Moyu could roughly judge the strength of an elemental lich by the range and intensity of the tribulation clouds. Though all were great Tao-level elemental liches, there were still differences in strength. But the stronger the lich, the greater the restrictions and the stricter the world's supervision. Boom! Thunder rumbled as the elemental lich soared into the tribulation clouds to face its trial. Chapter 38:27. Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit. Thunder rumbled in waves. This tribulation was extremely powerful, affecting an area nearly 10 million miles across. Little Python, though already a second-tier soul void beast, still trembled in fear before the tribulation. Within the tribulation clouds, lightning crashed, 10,000 bolts striking the elemental lich, whose figure flickered in and out of view under the glare. The elemental lich solidified under the lightning, not fearing the punishment but instead using it to further condense its form. This phenomenon had occurred in previous summonings. These Tao-level elemental liches, summoned with precious materials, could easily withstand the great Tao tribulation and gain the approval of heaven and earth. What they truly feared was the punishment that followed. The difference lay in the rules of heaven and earth and in the presence of those great eyes. A rift opened in the void, and those enormous eyes appeared once more. Their cold gaze swept across the tribulation clouds, then flew tens of millions of miles to land on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. The other's look was clearly unfriendly, even a bit angry, as if blaming him for coming again. Lin Moyu could only force a wry smile. This being was too strong, and he couldn't afford to provoke it. Fortunately, the gaze lingered only a moment before turning away to watch the tribulation. The thunder continued for a while, then gradually weakened. The first wave of lightning ended, followed by the second wave, heavenly punishment fire. After that would surely come the third, the annihilation wind. The heavenly punishment fire burned, and the elemental lich's body fully solidified in the flames, showing no sign of injury. Lin Moyu wasn't worried about the elemental lich. It could easily withstand this standard tribulation. After the fire and wind, the fourth tribulation, soul-corroding water, appeared out of nowhere and fell on the elemental lich. Now Lin Moyu finally saw the elemental lich's form clearly. A small scarlet body, soaking in the soul-corroding water, not only unharmed, but actually turning the water scarlet. Unlike the space Tao spirit, which would play in the soul-corroding water, this one simply sat there quietly, as if taking a bath. Soul-corroding water, which could rot the flesh and erase the soul of a Tao lord, was now the elemental lich's bath. No one would believe it if told. Not only did the water fail to harm the little elemental lich, it was itself affected, gradually turning red. When the water was completely scarlet, the elemental lich suddenly opened its mouth and sucked it all in. Lin Moyu was amazed.
It can do that?
He wasn't the only one surprised. Even the great eyes watching the tribulation showed shock, clearly never having seen this before. What kind of being could swallow a great Tao tribulation? But just because it hadn't happened before didn't mean it couldn't. This was reality. Lin Moyu saw hesitation in those eyes. They clearly didn't know what to do next. Lightning, fire, wind, water, the four tribulations had passed, and the fifth did not arrive, meaning the trial was over and the elemental lich had been accepted by heaven and earth. The great eyes glanced at the elemental lich, then gave Lin Moyu a warning before slowly closing. Once again, Lin Moyu experienced a world of darkness, as if the heavens themselves had been veiled. After a while, his vision returned, and he saw the tribulation-past elemental lich slowly flying over.
This little guy is really something.
Lin Moyu thought. He could feel the connection between himself and the elemental lich, no different from other elemental liches. But from its behavior, it seemed a bit different from the others. The little guy wasn't in a hurry, trailing a long red thread as it lazily floated to Lin Moyu.
Master.
Its voice was slightly deep and hoarse, its demeanor calm, not at all lively like other elemental liches, a sharp contrast to its small and cute appearance. Lin Moyu said,
Tell me your abilities.
It replied,
I copied the Scarlet Blood Great Tao, and my body has some properties of chaos soil. I can pollute and devour all kinds of powers.
Lin Moyu asked.
Pollute?
The elemental lich said,
Yes, almost anything can be polluted by me. That's the power of the Scarlet Blood Great Tao. After polluting, I can devour it and turn it into my own power. That's the ability brought by chaos soil.
In this world, there is a blood great Tao, extremely rare and seldom seen, even fewer can comprehend it. The blood great Tao doesn't refer to the blood inside living beings, but to the blood of heaven and earth. It is said that at the dawn of the world, nameless blood fell and gave life to the world. The blood great Tao was born, containing the most fundamental power of heaven and earth. It can not only mobilize the world's power, but also control the blood of all beings. But because the blood great Tao was too heaven-defying, it was eventually split into two, the scarlet blood great Tao and the fresh blood great Tao. The scarlet blood great Tao governs the filth of the world's blood, the waste of heaven and earth's blood. The fresh blood great Tao is scattered throughout the world, helping the yin-yang origin evolve all living things. Lin Moyu hadn't expected this crimson redstone to contain the scarlet blood great Tao and as Redstone Emperor's companion object, that made the Redstone Emperor's identity rather mysterious. If you think further, perhaps the other Emperor's identities are also unusual. Lin Moyu quickly realized he was overthinking these matters weren't his concern. He decided to test the scarlet blood great Tao, since seeing is believing.
From now on, you'll be called Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit. Show me your abilities.
He summoned the Space Tao Spirit, and at Lin Moyu's signal, the Space Tao Spirit tore open a rift in the void. Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit raised its little hand and pointed at the rift. Instantly, countless streaks of scarlet blood appeared around the rift. The scarlet blood grew thicker and darker, wrapping the space rift completely. The Space Tao Spirit cried out,
My space rift isn't under my control anymore.
Then Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit opened its mouth and sucked the rift into its belly. It vanished.
Tastes pretty good. I could go for more.
Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit said, licking its lips and eyeing the Space Tao Spirit as if it wanted to eat it. The Space Tao Spirit was so startled it hid behind Lin Moyu, not daring to peek out. Lin Moyu didn't react, just observed the whole process. In less than a second, Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit had polluted and devoured the space rift. A space rift contains the power of the space great Tao. After being polluted, it became a delicacy for Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit. Lin Moyu then summoned the True Fire Tao Spirit for another test. The True Fire Tao Spirit summoned the True Fire Great Tao, and the temperature soared. But when Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit acted, countless streaks of scarlet blood appeared. The blood ignored the power of the True Fire Great Tao, turning all the omnipresent True Fire into its own food. In a blink, the temperature returned to normal. The True Fire Tao Spirit exclaimed,
He ate all my true fire.
After two simple tests, Lin Moyu already knew how formidable the Scarlet Blood Tao Spirit was. This was an extremely abnormal Great Tao, able to pollute all things. Lin Moyu had another thought.
Let's see if you can pollute this.
He released a mass of gray-white light, his own immortality power. Chapter 38:28. The Bell. The scarlet blood Tao spirit pointed its finger, and a large amount of scarlet blood appeared out of nowhere around the gray-white ball of light. The ball was surrounded by the scarlet blood, but strangely, the blood could not penetrate it, unlike what had happened with the space rift earlier. After a few seconds, Lin Moyu noticed that not only could the scarlet blood not infiltrate or pollute the power of immortality, but his immortality power was instead corroding the scarlet blood. The scarlet blood Tao spirit said in a low voice,
"I can't pollute it. Not fun."
Lin Moyu coaxed it like a child.
"Try again."
They held out a bit longer, but it became clear that the scarlet blood Great Tao truly could not pollute the power of immortality. This showed just how unique the immortality Great Tao was. After all, both the space Great Tao and the true fire Great Tao could be polluted, which meant the immortality Great Tao was even stronger than them. Lin Moyu was naturally pleased by the strength of the immortality Great Tao, but the scarlet blood Tao spirit was not so happy. When the test ended, the little one looked even more sullen than usual, its already serious face becoming even more twisted. Lin Moyu had it go play with the space Tao spirit and the others, believing it would soon cheer up. No matter how serious, it was ultimately just a newborn child with not much intelligence, and easy to appease. Little Python set off again, while Lin Moyu pondered the uses of the scarlet blood Tao spirit, gradually forming some ideas.
If I can make good use of the scarlet blood Tao spirit, perhaps I can greatly enhance my combat strength, and without attracting great Tao punishment.
The scarlet blood Tao spirit's destruction was a kind of sustained corrosion, unlike the instant massive destruction caused by the space Tao spirit or the true fire Tao spirit. As long as this degree was carefully controlled, it could effectively weaken opponents without drawing punishment. The key was to find the threshold. 3 months after leaving the Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain, Lin Moyu found a great Tao beast. This great Tao beast became his test subject. First, the 5 Elements giant used the prison Wildgrand formation to trap the beast, then the true fire Tao spirit attacked, and the scarlet blood Tao spirit polluted the beast. At first, the power was kept weak, and the pollution was only on the surface. Seeing that no great Tao punishment was triggered, the strength was gradually increased. Lin Moyu carefully sensed the changes in the surroundings. Before great Tao punishment descends, there are subtle signs in the world, and with full effort he could sense them. When the scarlet blood Tao spirit's power reached 40%, Lin Moyu suddenly shouted,
"Stop!"
He had sensed a subtle change in the world, knowing he'd reached the limit.
40% if you don't want to trigger great Tao punishment, keep the power under 40%. If that's true for the scarlet blood Tao spirit, is it the same for the others?
The great Tao beast used for the experiment was now half covered in scarlet pollution, looking grotesque and even a bit disgusting. Scarlet blood represents the filth of the world. Anything polluted by it, no matter the form, would evoke disgust from living beings. Lin Moyu didn't want to look at it any longer and had the space Tao spirit continue testing. The Tao spirits kept their power at 40%, attacking the great Tao beast. Each time there was a slight anomaly in the world, but no great Tao punishment was triggered. Lin Moyu confirmed the safe power limit for the Tao spirits. While much less than their full strength, it was better than not being able to use them at all. At least it was enough to deal with Tao lords.
Heaven and Earth's great Tao isn't entirely without loopholes.
Lin Moyu thought to himself. The 5 Elements giant killed the great Tao beast, collected its essence, and continued toward the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain. Little Python flew through the vacuum for a full 10 years, crossing a vast region its farthest journey yet. Along the way, they encountered 5 great Tao beasts and collected 5 orbs of beast essence, but unfortunately did not find a virtual real spirit realm. One day, 10 years later, Lin Moyu suddenly heard a bell. In the previously empty vacuum, a strange scene appeared. Beneath his feet was a vast grassland, with thousands of horses galloping, exotic birds soaring in the sky, and in the distance, mythical beasts appeared there, even seemed to be a divine dragon ascending to the heavens. Little Python exclaimed,
"What's going on?"
Having flown for 10 years, it was nearly dozing off, but the sudden vision snapped it awake. Lin Moyu said,
We must have entered a virtual real spirit realm.
Little Python perked up.
A virtual real spirit realm. It's been years since we entered one. Congratulations, Master, you're about to get some treasure.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
This time, it doesn't seem so simple.
Little Python immediately became wary. If Lin Moyu said it wasn't simple, it definitely wasn't. Lin Moyu looked around.
This virtual real spirit realm appeared too suddenly. Before it appeared, I think I heard a bell. How could there be a bell in the vacuum?
Lin Moyu felt a vague sense of unease. Although his soul didn't send a warning, he was unsettled. Yong! Another bell sounded. Lin Moyu's expression changed dramatically as a warning came from deep in his soul.
Master, danger! Space isolation!
The Space Dao spirit shouted, waving its hand to create a huge rift, isolating their space from the outside. The bell's sound turned from formless to tangible, rippling outward. All the beasts fell silent. The previously vibrant world froze, then shattered like glass. Bang! Even the isolated space created by the Space Dao spirit broke apart, returning them to the vacuum. All around were glass shards, each containing images of various living beings, still beautiful. It was as if a world had turned into a painting, then shattered, with fragments retaining traces of its beauty. The danger wasn't over. Lin Moyu's soul still sent warnings. The Space Dao spirit tried to isolate space again, but found it couldn't. The true Fire Dao spirit raised invisible flames to protect everyone. The Sword Dao spirit transformed into countless swords, forming a shield around Lin Moyu and Little Python. The Scarlet Blood Dao spirit waved its hands, raising a sea of scarlet blood to pollute the world. The little ones acted quickly, all defenses completed within a second. Bang! All the fragments exploded. A violent storm swept the void, and terrifying power surged in from all directions. Space split open with huge cracks. Lin Moyu even glimpsed the world behind the soul void, the origin ancestral land faintly visible. Of course, he could only look. He knew there was still a great distance to the origin ancestral land. Impossible to cross. Going there would mean death. As their space was torn apart, even with the Dao spirit's protection, Lin Moyu's soul was still affected, enduring constant shocks. Little Python kept howling, its body breaking apart, but it managed to hold on. The tearing force came fiercely but faded quickly, lasting only a few seconds before vanishing. Lin Moyu sent out a surge of life force to heal Little Python, while reflecting on what had just happened.
What a terrifying spatial tearing force, even stronger than the Space Dao spirit. Only a true body Dao Lord of the Space Great Dao could wield such power.
The Space Great Dao hadn't entered the returning origin land. There was no Great Dao Lord, only true body Dao Lords. He realized that what they just experienced wasn't a virtual real spirit realm, but a pure spatial force projection. Somewhere, there must be a space like the one they'd just seen. The mysteries of the soul void still exceeded his imagination. Chapter 38:29. Boiling a frog in warm water. Little Python was still shaken.
Master, what just happened?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
I'm not sure, but it should be related to the Space Great Dao. I don't know the specifics yet. Let's keep flying, but be careful.
Little Python said.
It's a pity. If that had been a virtual real spirit realm, Master could have gotten another treasure.
Lin Moyu replied.
If it were that easy to get, such treasures wouldn't be valuable.
Little Python asked.
Are innate origin treasures only found in virtual real spirit realms?
This question triggered a memory in Lin Moyu. On the ferrying calamity boat, that giant statue was made entirely of innate origin treasure. Even the murals and carvings on either side of the steps he climbed were all made of innate origin treasure. On the ferrying calamity boat, such materials didn't seem rare at all.
What exactly is the ferrying calamity boat?
Seeing Lin Moyu fall silent, Little Python stopped asking and continued flying in the planned direction. After experiencing the bell, Little Python was even more cautious and tried to stay alert. Lin Moyu didn't speak further, just drank his tea quietly, while the only sounds in the void came from the playful Dao spirits. After flying for several more days, the outline of a great spirit domain finally appeared in their view. Lin Moyu looked over and, from a great distance, saw the shape of the domain. Little Python remarked curiously,
Master, this great spirit domain has such a strange shape.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
This is the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain.
What Little Python called strange was, in fact, the shape of a large drum. A great spirit domain shaped like a giant drum, no wonder it was called Twilight Drum. As they drew closer, Lin Moyu kept watching. According to Discernment Beast, the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain was dangerous, but he didn't know what the danger was. The domain grew larger and closer in their view. Dong! Suddenly, a deep drumbeat sounded. Little Python's body uncontrollably retreated, moving farther and farther from the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain. As it retreated, Little Python's eyes went blank, falling into a daze, unaware of what it was doing. The Tao spirit's laughter also stopped. The little ones were still moving, but their actions became strange, as if being played in reverse. Lin Moyu frowned. He could sense the power of time in the drum's sound. Almost instinctively, his time Great Tao activated, protecting his body. He immediately understood what was happening.
It's time reversal. Because of the time Great Tao, I'm unaffected. The little ones are protected by their Great Tao power, so they're less affected, but still impacted.
The most affected was Little Python, whose personal time was flowing backward. It would retrace its steps exactly as it had come. During time reversal, Little Python's consciousness would temporarily stop, and its memory of this period would be erased. It would have no idea what it had done, as if it never heard the drum at all. After retreating over 100 million miles, Little Python's awareness returned, and it continued forward as if nothing had happened. At that moment, they were just seeing the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain again. Little Python curiously repeated,
Master, this Great Spirit Domain has such a strange shape.
The Tao spirits showed no surprise either. As if it were their first time experiencing this, their memories had also been affected. Time can erase everything. For them, that period simply never existed. Lin Moyu said nothing, signaling Little Python to keep going. Little Python flew forward, once again approaching the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain. Lin Moyu paid close attention. When they reached the previous spot, the domain flashed. Dong! The drum sounded again, and Little Python's eyes glazed over, starting to retreat. Lin Moyu was ready this time, activating the Time Great Tao to block the temporal power. He watched Little Python's soul closely and saw a tiny flaw appear. Its memory was erased by the Time Great Tao, but the soul itself wasn't significantly harmed. The damage was minuscule, almost undetectable. But therein lay the danger. Because it couldn't be detected, they didn't know they were affected and would repeat the same action over and over, continually approaching the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain. Each time, they'd suffer a tiny bit of damage. Like a frog being boiled in warm water. By the time you realize it, it's too late. If lucky, your soul is merely wounded. If not, you're annihilated. Only cultivators who practice the Time Great Tao, and have at least reached the Great Tao realm, can resist the time reversal of the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain.
So this is the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain, truly dangerous.
After this round of retreat, Little Python's eyes cleared, and it repeated in the same tone.
Master, this Great Spirit Domain has such a strange shape.
Lin Moyu said.
Stop.
Little Python was confused.
Master, what's wrong?
Lin Moyu said.
There's danger ahead. I'll go alone.
He drew a storage divine rune and signaled Little Python to enter. Though confused, Little Python obediently entered the rune. Lin Moyu opened his storage space and put Little Python away.
You all go in too,
he told the Tao spirits. The 4 Tao spirits also obediently entered the storage space. Lin Moyu activated the Time Great Tao, enveloping himself in radiant light as he headed for the Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain. He had comprehended the Time Great Tao but rarely used it. He had a technique, the Wings of Time's Curse, which, when pushed to the limit, could let him roam the river of time. Lin Moyu had seen the river of time several times, even meeting its spirit. But he had never entered the river of time. Once he wanted to see past events. At that moment, a warning came from deep within his soul. Entering the river of time was dangerous. He realized that roaming the river of time was not simple and should not be attempted lightly. After that, he gave up the idea and used the Time Great Tao less and less. Now, he activated the Time Great Tao and flew toward the Twilight Drum Great Spirit domain. When he reached the previous spot, the drum sounded again. The deep drumbeat, carrying the power of time, struck Lin Moyu, but his Time Great Tao blocked it, allowing him to continue. After getting closer, another drum sounded. This time, the drum was even deeper, the power even stronger, and the Time Great Tao's radiance around him was clearly distorted. Lin Moyu realized his earlier judgment was off. Being at the Great Tao realm wasn't enough. Perhaps a higher realm was needed. As he got closer, the drumbeat grew more frequent and powerful. He kept activating the Time Great Tao to resist. The radiance of the Time Great Tao around him became thinner and thinner, as if it might shatter at any moment.
Is it really this hard?
He was already a first-tier innate soul. If even he couldn't enter, did it require a Tao Lord? Discernment Beast must have known this, and let him try because he could make it.
No problem. Just hold on a bit longer.
Lin Moyu steeled his will, fully activating the Time Great Tao and pushing forward through the drumbeats. The drumbeats became dense and violent, pounding against him. Finally, in one especially fierce drumbeat, his Time Great Tao shattered and a pair of radiant wings sprouted from his back. The wings of Time's curse,